grandfather, grandmother, sacred Mother Earth, ancestors and elders. I thank you for providing this day for us and for giving us the inherent freedom to come and join together and share together and lift each other up and pray for one another. Many and most of us have things that are near and dear to our heart. Sometimes not always easy to talk about. So lend your ear to us today. May we hear one another's heartbeat. May you give us clarity. And give us answers to questions that have not found us yet. We pray for those who are away from us today. Draw near to our fellowship wherever they may be this morning. May they hear the quiet whisper of our prayer. We lift prayers for their wholeness and goodness and safety. You've heard the prayers of our heart. Come now and sit with us a while. We enjoy this time together. I hope. Well, let's talk a little bit about, we have a couple more Sundays to talk about respect. And kind of got a pretty good idea of how I'm wanting to end up this talk when we come to the last Sunday in August, a couple of weeks away. But I've been thinking a lot this week. It's one thing to talk about what respect is. We can look at this, that, or the other and say, well, that was a nice display of and show of love and respect. But if there is to exist a concept of respect and how all this is beginning to gel together and the pattern of the seven secret teachings as they follow the directions of the medicine wheel. One of the things that we, I hope, are beginning to see is how this diagram, how this visual reference is beginning to help you in navigating your way, navigating my way through this thing that we call life. It's really quite simple when you begin to think about how all these fit together and very strategically so. And some may feel that this is a once and done thing. We learn the seven sacred teachings, we go out and we practice them. But there's a whole lot more to the seven sacred teachings other than just memory and memorizing what they are and where they came from and how they all fit together. They're in our presentation. We began our journey on the sacred need of humility. And then we moved to honesty, courage. And now we're finishing up our talk and our teaching on respect. we can talk a lot about what respect is when something happens in our world or in our awareness. One would say, well, that was a great show of respect. Thing that you did. Or, that was an honorable thing that you did. And I'm just speaking kind of metaphorically. But any time that we've done something to promote any of these seven sacred teachings, I don't usually like to talk about the negatives. I've said this before, but we do have to allow room for the concept of differences. One could say there is good, and one could say there's evil. One could say there's happiness, and others say sadness. For everything that there is, there exists its opposites. So let's think for a minute what respect is not. Can we come up with anything? What respect is not. Pretty much sums it up.
For another's opinion.
Say again.
Disregard for another's.
Disregard for another's opinion. Say that one more time.
Separateness.
Separateness.
Not seeing others.
Yeah. Well, we can take it and make this rather simple to say that whatever we can look at and say, oh, there is respect. Somewhere in the process, there is its opposite. You can call that disrespect. And the world has plenty of that to give around in these days if that's what we're looking for. I walk down the street, you're in the supermarket, and I don't go to Walmart, so Walmart doesn't count. But I'm sure they've put on a pretty good show of the differentiation between a child, for example, who is showing their parent respect. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, thank you. Please. We get that enough. Please. We've had kids in our life. We've had that plenty of times, right? But the opposite of respect is obviously disrespect. Whatever. I don't really care. And we can do a pretty good job of linguistically hooking that up where you know where someone stands real fast and real close. There's a tenderness about our way. If there is a gentleness about our way, we even find the ability, the inherent ability to understand those concepts of opposites. You know? So when we talk about respect, we can say, oh, we respect the hawk feather, or we respect the tobacco. Um, we respect the sacraments on the altar, the feathers, the candle, the love that went into setting this altar up. And if we use this very virtue of setting up this altar as a guide and directive that will help us live and continue to live our prayerful way, our mindful way, it'll help keep us focused on that road. And when we're tempted to flip somebody off or say bad things about the way somebody's driving or not driving or parking or trying to park or whatever the case may be, you know, that basically I think, Maria, is kind of the opposite of what you were just saying, that I see the divine in you, and you see the divine in me. We understand where that comes from. But if that is respect, then one of its opposites is I don't see you. I don't have any interest in seeing you. Somehow thinking that my time is more valuable. And I'm speaking about this generically as a whole, not necessarily, me as an individual, although I do have a tendency to drop the ball once and again. We all do. But when we come into this space, share this quiet time together, fellowship, a prayer, hopefully a good talk, good music. When we leave here, when we finally stand in that dimension of love, we're going to see how, and I really hope that this is going to be one of those profound aha moments when we begin to really understand how all this is fitting together and how it's the goalpost, it's the navigation post of our life to lead us, guide us, inspire us, help us when we need help, encourage us when we need encouragement, bring us joy in an otherwise rather sorrowful and pitiful world we find ourselves in. But that's not what I really want to focus on today. I just really want us to begin to look at life, the lives that we live, the people that we interact with. Some people will tell you that respect cannot be bought, it cannot be sold, and I would agree with that. The old ones used to say that respect has to be earned within within the tribe, within the family, within the fellowship. And so that when we open our heart and open our mouths to speak in prayer, to offer a hand to help a brother or a sister, to do all that we can do within our power, to bring our lives and the life of this fellowship more closely in alignment with what the teachings are all about. The next Sunday, when we come together, I want to talk about, I want us to begin to focus and think about how we respect other people. And not only how we respect other people, but how other people respect and respond to us. And I think that the more that we walk in a good way with these seven sacred teachings, people are going to look around and say one day, I don't know what it is about those folks over there, but they seem like they got something pretty good going on. And that in and of itself is evangelism. And I think that's the most effective way. Come, let me show you. Let me take you. Come to my church. When we begin to engage ourselves in a spiritual walk and in a good manner, when we ask for the help from Creator that we need, when we ask for the ability to love as we should, when we seek to follow Him more closely. The last Sunday of the month, I want to talk about kind of wrapping this up for respect, is to see that how everything to me seems to hinge on the axle of respect. You can't respect enough. I can't respect enough. I can always do better. And so that's going to be my challenge for me this week, to actively seek out people that I can just love for no reason, give for no reason. I encourage you to see if you can find little ways of kindness that you can show to the world who you are, who we are. Especially when we begin to talk about someone and they say, "Oh, you're with that Native American group over there. I don't know. Makes sense now." We want to focus in also on the love of the land. And we want to focus in on our love for and Creator's love for us. And then we'll pack that up and move on. And probably sometime around Christmas, we'll find out we're all in love with each other. Huh? Anyone have any comments or observations that you'd like to share with us